Welcome to Soulful Sounds and Inspiration, where we share faith, hope, and the Word of God to inspire and uplift your spirit. Join us on this journey of faith. Peter raises Tabitha, Dorcas, from the dead. The story of Peter raising Tabitha, also known as Dorcas, from the dead is one of the most remarkable miracles recorded in the book of Acts. This event, found in Acts 9:36-43, highlights the power of God working through Peter, the importance of faith in the early Christian community, and the role of good works in the life of a believer. The story unfolds in Joppa, a significant coastal city in ancient Israel, and serves as a testament to the growing influence of Christianity beyond Jerusalem. Tabitha, also called Dorcas, her name in Greek, was a well-respected disciple of Jesus in Joppa. She was known for her acts of charity, particularly her kindness toward widows and the poor. Luke, the author of Acts, describes her as being full of good works and acts of charity, Acts 9:36. This indicates that she was deeply committed to serving others, possibly making clothing and providing aid to those in need. Her generosity and compassion made her an indispensable member of the early Christian community. Despite her good works, tragedy struck when Tabitha fell ill and died. The Christian community in Joppa was heartbroken at the loss of such a beloved figure. As was the custom, her body was washed and placed in an upper room, a sign of both respect and mourning. The believers, grieving her passing, knew that Peter was nearby in Lydda, a town approximately 10 miles away, where he had just healed a paralyzed man named Aeneas, Acts 9:32-35. Hoping for a miracle, they sent 2 men to bring Peter to Joppa without delay. Upon arriving in Joppa, Peter was taken to the upper room where Tabitha's body lay. There, he encountered a group of widows mourning her death, displaying the garments she had made for them. This scene underscored the impact of her life, as her acts of kindness had touched many people. Peter, following the example of Jesus when he raised Jairus' daughter, Mark 5:40-41, asked everyone to leave the room. He then knelt in prayer, seeking God's power and guidance. After praying, he turned to the body and said, "Tabitha, arise." Immediately, she opened her eyes, saw Peter, and sat up. He took her by the hand and helped her stand. Then he presented her alive to the believers and widows, filling them with awe and joy. News of this miracle spread rapidly throughout Joppa, leading many to believe in the Lord. This event not only strengthened the faith of the local believers, but also served as a powerful testimony to the truth of the gospel. The resurrection of Tabitha demonstrated that Jesus' power over death was still active through his disciples, reinforcing the message of hope and salvation. Peter remained in Joppa for some time, staying with Simon the tanner, which further indicates the continued spread of Christianity among different social classes. The power of prayer and faith. Peter's miracle was performed through the power of Christ, showing that prayer is essential in seeking divine intervention. The value of good works. Tabitha's life exemplifies how acts of kindness and charity have lasting significance. She was remembered for her love and generosity, inspiring believers to serve others. God's sovereignty over life and death. This miracle affirms that God holds power over life and death, offering hope to those who trust in him. The spread of the gospel. The resurrection of Tabitha led to many conversions, demonstrating that miracles can serve as a means of evangelism. Peter's raising of Tabitha from the dead stands as a powerful testament to the continuing work of Jesus through his apostles. It underscores the importance of faith, the impact of a life devoted to good works, and the miraculous power of God. This story continues to inspire believers today, encouraging them to live a life of service and trust in God's ability to bring hope even in the face of death. In Acts 9:36-43, the Apostle Peter performs a remarkable miracle by raising Tabitha, also known as Dorcas, from the dead in the city of Joppa. This event carries profound lessons that not only highlight God's power, but also provide valuable spiritual insights applicable to the lives of believers. Through this story, we see lessons of compassion, faith, prayer, and the power of God working through his servants. Tabitha, a disciple in the city of Joppa, was known for her acts of kindness, particularly in making clothes for the poor. Her death deeply saddened the community as they remembered her works of charity. The believers in Joppa, who had heard that Peter was nearby in Lydda, sent for him, hoping he could do something. The fact that they reached out to Peter in their distress shows their trust in God's ability to work through his apostles. Peter's response to the situation is one of great compassion. He went to the house where Tabitha's body lay and was immediately shown the garments she had made. This detail emphasizes the impact she had on her community. Peter, moved by their grief and her acts of charity, knelt to pray and then spoke to Tabitha, calling her back to life. Through this act, Peter demonstrated the deep love and compassion of Christ for those who serve him faithfully, and how God honors such service. The first lesson we learn from this passage is the importance of compassion and service. Tabitha's life was marked by her selflessness and her desire to meet the needs of others, particularly the poor and marginalized. Her work was not only a practical act of kindness, but also a reflection of her faith. In a world often preoccupied with personal gain, Tabitha's life reminds us of the importance of living for others and meeting the needs of those around us. Believers are called to follow her example and show compassion through tangible acts of service. The second lesson is the power of faith and prayer. When Peter arrived at the house, he did not act out of his own power, but he first prayed to God. His action reveals the essential relationship between prayer and miraculous works. Prayer connects the believer to God and invites his intervention. Peter's prayer also emphasizes the dependence on God's will. He sought God's guidance before performing the miracle. The raising of Tabitha from the dead illustrates that through faith and prayer, believers can trust in God's ability to bring about extraordinary things, even when the situation seems hopeless. Furthermore, the miracle serves as a reminder of God's sovereignty and the power he has over life and death. Jesus' ministry was marked by acts of resurrection, and Peter, as one of his apostles, was empowered to continue that ministry. The raising of Tabitha is a vivid demonstration of God's power to restore life and the authority he gives to his followers to do his work on earth. This miracle provides believers with the assurance that God has the power to restore and renew, even when all seems lost. Finally, the story of Tabitha's resurrection is a powerful witness to the broader community. The event led many to believe in the Lord, Acts 9:42. When miracles happen, they often serve as a testimony to God's greatness and draw others to faith. As Christians, our actions, acts of kindness, and reliance on prayer not only serve the immediate community, but also present opportunities for others to witness the power and grace of God. In conclusion, the raising of Tabitha in Joppa teaches essential lessons of compassion, faith, prayer, and the sovereignty of God. Through the example of Tabitha's life, believers are encouraged to serve others selflessly, while through Peter's prayer and miracle, they are reminded of the importance of seeking God's will and power in all situations. This passage serves as both an encouragement and a challenge to live out a faith that demonstrates God's power, bringing hope to others and witnessing to his greatness.